It's Thursday night, and it wouldn't be a night without Sportswire Radio. Everybody was talking about the State of the Union. What did the commander in chief say? What did the people that liked it said? What did the people that didn't like it said? But on Sportswire Radio, we return with two people that look like we might have seen them before, but technically they're coming on for the first time. But maybe we've seen them before in a past life. And they worked in another promotion that we talked about quite a bit. But we're going to forget about all that because these guys have a lot to say. We got sports to talk about. We got some music live we're going to talk about on the air. And maybe we will get into that world of wrestling where we think we might have seen these guys before. And we think we might have had them on Sportswire Radio before in the past. But ladies and gentlemen, you know it. I know it. The world wants it. Let's get right to it and get to that introduction and maybe, I suppose, for the first time, introduce our guest. Although, like I said, these two faces definitely look familiar, but I can't pinpoint where have I seen these guys before and where have I watched these guys before. But we'll try to figure it out here and some. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, sports show, making their debut, the Sportswire Radio. Renowned rap artist. His name is Sadboi, and a man making his rather large debut on Sportswire Radio. He is a renowned streamer on Twitch. Simply put, call him, it's your boy, Shane. Fellas, I think, nice to meet you.
I guess nice to second meet you too, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, the faces look very, very familiar. Now, these faces that we see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I know you guys, but yet I don't know you guys because for the first time we're having Sadboi and it's your boy Shane. So I guess I should say nice to meet you, but maybe not. I feel like in a way, this is like Hulk Hogan's character in 2003 when he was playing Mr. America. I mean, in a way, you guys are almost kind of like the Mr. Americas of Sportswire Radio. But nevertheless, gentlemen, I suppose it's good to meet you. And how you doing here, first of all, on a Thursday night?
I'm doing great. But, if I do recall my first ever vignette, my first ever promo I had with my former company, I said that I was known by many names. And, of course, I have about 3 or 4 names. So, I mean, it's I've been doing good, been doing great. Things are really looking up. I had a lot of things to announce, a lot of things I've been planning for a while that I'm finally getting the chance to really do now. And, things couldn't be any better.
Absolutely. And before I do a couple of different things with you guys, like I said, I think I'm introducing myself for the first time. I actually want to say hello to somebody that's a favorite of mine that used to be a listener of mine when I was co-hosting for a while. I will come back to it eventually in a few months on a radio station out there in New York City for the Just Enough Heshy show, which was on 620 WSNR, WJPR, WNEW 1027, and Natasha Devine. And Natasha says, I'm loud because Natasha's used to me Wednesday nights, guys, 9 o'clock Eastern time, where my co-host is a guy, Heshy Tischler. And, well, he has his own way of doing things, but certainly not the way we do things on Sportswire Radio. So Natasha's like not used to me doing that intro because I don't know if I'm kind of stuck in an island, but kind of maybe like how you guys were in where we think we know you from another promotion where, we didn't quite get to where we wanted to be, but we're here in the people's house. But I wanted to say, Natasha, thank you for all your support, everything. And thank you for all you do in terms of the different things you advocate for. And thank you for tuning in. Also, I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Ethan Sorensen. So, fellas, obviously we kind of got the nice to meet yous out of the way. Although, again, I feel like I've known you guys for a while, but I'll leave that out for a little while and maybe even bring on somebody that might have known you before or might have considered you a work colleague at some point. Forget about all that, though, in the meantime. But, gentlemen, a lot to get to. Let's go first with you. We've got Twitch to promote. Let's talk about some of the things we can see you and Mr. Sadboi on coming up on Twitch.
A lot of big things are changing, man. A lot of big things. For one, we're gonna start off with we're gonna be playing a lot more WWE 2K24 since 2K24 just dropped on.
I had two wrestlers message me about that. Are you playing WWE 2K24? I said, give me a month.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of storytelling, a lot of different stuff that not a lot of people do on live streams and everything like that. And there's gonna be a lot more GTA, a lot more like Madden. We're trying to hone in on what games we want to continuously play throughout the week.
What's the game and what's the games that you would really prefer to play? Are you putting that to the audience?
Madden for me mostly. Not gonna lie, I don't want to.
Well, we're gonna get to you because you have a lot to say. You always have a lot to say.
Greatest Madden player of all time, right here.
Staying trendy there for us, huh? To
Always.
wink and a nod of past life.
Oh my god, this dude's always claiming to be the best Madden player. Oh my goodness.
Well, we're gonna have to try to get proof of that, but Madden's a big thing. 2K24, like I said, two wrestlers messaged me about that, and I don't want to tip my hand too much what you might see at some point soon, but you also mentioned GTA, Grand Theft Auto, any other games of note you guys might be playing on your Twitch stream? For everybody plays Fortnite.
Yeah.
What else? I forgot. I forget.
Rocket League. I mean, at some point, I'm gonna be streaming Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. I'm a big anime fan, as you can see at the posters on my wall.
Yep.
It's a little bit of everything, man.
Not Resident Evil, unlike, let's say, a Nemesis. No Resident Evil.
My stepfather was a huge Resident Evil fan, and I grew up watching him play the games, and he's kind of a sweat at every video game known to man. So it was fun seeing him try to speedrun them games and stuff.
Now, speaking of which, obviously there's an individual that does go still by a Nemesis, James Taylor, and he's got this PWF league where they're doing like a 2K tournament and stuff like that. Are you guys ever been involved in that with that individual? I know you guys don't quite know him necessarily, but I was wondering, have you heard of this Promo Wrestling Federation?
I have. He has a pretty big platform, so it's kind of hard not to. I'm not gonna say, for anything in the future, if he ever wants to work with us in WWE 2K24, I'm all down with that. But we kind of have a little bit of a different thing going on.
Oh yeah, well, what do you guys?
Shane, if you want to elaborate on that, you can go ahead. Or if you want to keep it under the wraps, we can do that as well.
So pretty much, we're just going in it. We're pretty much going in blind, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much, we basically. He's gonna be making AEW, what's it called?
Universe mode.
Universe mode. He's gonna be doing an AEW universe. We'll have another buddy doing a TNA universe, and then we'll have our other friend doing a Ring of Honor, or
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, then me doing WWE and shit like that.
Will there be a TVW one? Oh, never mind.
No
comment.
No
Plead the fifth on that.
No.
I have to have some type of laughter because some people do say I actually can be funny at times. But it's funny. I just watched Impact just before. I mean, who would you create from Impact? I mean, I just watched The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and my goodness, I mean, that would be one of the guys I would want to create right off the bat. Maybe Eric Young, who's back also in Impact. I mean,
Nick Nemeth, Moose. I'm a big fan of Moose. He played in the NFL. Yeah, that dude's a beast. I was actually Jordan Grace.
Oh my! And her birthday
Love,
was just the other day.
yeah, love beast. I celebrated. Love me some Jordan Grace.
Oh, well, you
She's
know what? That makes two of us.
fantastic.
And it makes a lot of men out there, a lot of hot-blooded males would look at Jordan Lynn Gracie.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Is she still married to the former Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham?
I honestly do not think so.
Well, good.
Not
Well,
100%
good.
sure, but
Good. Well, maybe that then means maybe people like yourself, Mr. Sadboi, would have a chance. Now that you're obviously a respected performing artist and stuff, and we'll get into that. I actually have a little surprise for you. But yeah, Impact, I think it's cool to get into a lot of great characters. Steve Macklin, another guy that comes to mind in Impact. AEW, obviously everybody aside from Sting, there's a whole bunch of talents. That's pretty cool. You guys are actually doing the other promotions out there instead of just WWE. That's pretty cool.
it is. It's we've kind of always done that. We've kind of always made our own universe mode, and we do the draft and everything. But doing this a little bit different this time. I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
All right, Madden. Obviously, you guys mentioned everybody plays Madden. Fortnite. I always tell the story that I've interviewed a lot of baseball players, and a lot of baseball players, when they're in the minor leagues, they have a lot of downtime, and what they would do to kind of kill the time would be to play Fortnite. Because when you're in the minor leagues, you're a professional, quite a rich Major League Baseball player. So you can't like go out in the town. You can't go out and spend in clubs, stuff like that. So the way to kind of pass the time is to play Fortnite. So that's what a lot of those guys do. I can certainly see Fortnite. But, Mr. Sadboi or Sadboyville, I know, first of all, you've got this new YouTube channel, which I'm going to pull up on the screen here shortly, called TSF Takes. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, would you like to elaborate on what TSF Takes is about before I play it on the screen?
Yes. We are playing TSF Takes. TSF Takes was pretty much I played video games with a group of friends I had with high school. We'd always sit and talk about sports topics. We get in heated debates, 3-hour long conversations of just,
wow,
is Kurt Warner really a Hall of Famer? Who was the quarterbacks who got 10-year deals and only a couple of them actually finished their contracts out, like Brett Favre. But Dante Culpepper signed that too. It's stuff like that.
Dante Culpepper, who was great for like 3 years and then like disappeared.
Yeah, the drop off was insane. I didn't know. You learn a bunch of stuff. We're going to do a mock draft here soon. We also play. We're in a big league, fantasy football league. It's been going on for like 4 or 5 years now. We do this pretty consistently, but we made this channel back in 2021. We made it. Didn't really do anything with it.
At least that photo you don't. This one you do, but that one you don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Shane is actually one of the newest members of TSF Takes.
Good.
We just talking about sports, debating. Obviously, when breaking news, like when Justin Simmons got released by the Broncos, you want to know why he got released.
Yeah, the Bills and Broncos kind of made a lot of moves or lack of moves, and the Bills seem like they have salary cap problems, and the Broncos seem to be also with Russell Wilson also being, I believe, also cut. I mean, so those two teams are really going to be in limbo.
Yeah, the Broncos are just undergoing they really need to do a full-blown rebuild at this point. You bring in Russell Wilson, you bring in Sean Payton, you still can't really make it work. At some point, you have to cut your losses. I mean, they pretty much sold out on everybody else, like Bradley Chubb. They traded off, I think, last year. You just released all-pro safety Justin Simmons, which Justin Simmons is 30. They're saving $14 million in cap, but that's still a really big piece to lose to your defense, a veteran
Are you
like
surprised
that.
they're rebuilding? Because what are they, 8? They were 8-9 last year. Got off to the slow start, got back in the playoff race. If you think about it, they're only a couple of games behind Kansas City. I know Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, but you surprised that they're in Denver?
No, I mean, they've kind of been in that rebuild. They've been in that mid category. I'm gonna go ahead and say they've been mid.
Super Bowl, they haven't been back to the playoffs. I agree.
Since Peyton Manning, and they've tried so many things. They've had a top 5 defense multiple years, and they still just couldn't get it done on the offensive side. I don't think it was really Russ's fault. I don't think it's Sean Payton's fault. I think the organization itself has issues, and until they go into a full-blown rebuild, really purge the team of what's going on there, they won't be able to truly get to that point of we're going to be contending. And plus, when you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, it's kind of hard to compete when you don't have that.
And the Raiders, you know what? I mean, they keep Antonio Pierce, and they played pretty well in the second half. The Raiders have got a good defense. You know, they could be a team. They just need a quarterback. Have to figure out what they do maybe on the offensive side of the ball. But the Raiders aren't that far away either.
I don't like talking about the Raiders because Devontae Adams hurt my feelings. So,
all right, but I want to ask you, though, before I move on to a couple of other things with you guys and actually talk about some music. Kurt Warner, you mentioned him. Is he a Hall of Famer? So, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes. In my personal opinion, yes.
Why is that? Because the body of work would say no, but in terms of postseason success, it would say yes. He's got the 3 Super Bowl appearances, and he's really this close away from winning 3 Super Bowls, but only wins 1. So why is he a Hall of Famer?
Kurt Warner has a lot of things that a lot of other Hall of Fame quarterbacks don't have. For one, that's a ring. It's 2 rings, actually. He has 2 rings. And on top of everything, that dude did not know when to quit. That dude went 100%. I mean, the story of him getting to the NFL in the first place, bagging groceries
yeah.
to being the league MVP the next year. I mean, how do you... If take away his Super Bowl rings, his MVP, his story alone, I mean, that's enough for me. And then he was a part of one of the greatest offenses of all time, like the greatest show on turf.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that maybe 3 years in a row that we didn't in that era. That was the transition from the NFL kind of in a defensive sport
run heavy
to an offensive sport.
Yeah. And then on top of that, his resurgence with the Cardinals, that was when like I really started paying attention to football, was around 2008. I was like 7 years old. Okay. I watched that Super Bowl live, and it was an amazing Super Bowl. And Kurt Warner, almost 40 years old at that point. I mean, taking a 8-8 Cardinals team who shouldn't have made the playoffs to the Super Bowl and almost beat the Steelers.
The wild card. Yeah, I mean, they should have won that game. I mean, you look at it. I mean, he had a great amount of success in a short amount of time there with the Cardinals. Really revitalized him. I remember being here in New York, quote unquote, with the Giants, and he looked like he was finished. But with the Cardinals, he got a second run of life there, and 9 playoff wins. 32,000 passing yards. I mean, definitely it's close. So I ask you real quick then, I'm going to throw this out there because we were talking New York. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I asked the same question to Shane the other day.
What did he say? So what did Shane think?
Shane, what did you say?
I think no. For the simple fact, his older brother, I think there's only room for one Manning. I just think there's only room for one Manning in the Hall of Fame.
Why is that, though? Why do you say that?
Because he was trying to do something. He was trying to outdo his brother, and he tried too hard.
I mean, statistically, other than the 2 Super Bowls, never won a playoff game in his career. He was I believe his career record was 500, just around the nose, I think, as a starting quarterback, maybe 1 or 2 games over 500. But he's got 2 Super Bowls, and there's, very few quarterbacks that have won 2 Super Bowls or more, and he's got 2. I mean,
But, the thing is, he wasn't as relevant as Peyton was.
No, it was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady for most of, my generation or my lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Eli Manning was kind of like the second tier.
He was the shadow. He was the shadow that follows behind.
He was even below Phillip Rivers. I mean, Phillip Rivers was a great quarterback who didn't win a Super Bowl. I mean, you think about it was Roethlisberger, Brady, and Manning. And Eli Manning was never really. I mean, Drew Brees I would put ahead of him. Russell Wilson, certainly the second half of that. You have to put Russell Wilson there. Aaron Rodgers would also have been in that tier. Yeah. Well, but he's only got one Super Bowl, though. He only got one.
Super Bowl, Schmooper Bowl. That dude's a goat.
Okay, but Kurt Warner, if Kurt Warner gets in, doesn't Eli Manning get in?
Let me tell you my opinion on Eli. I don't think Eli is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I do think he is a Hall of Famer. He has something that Phillip Rivers, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Fran Tarkenton,
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon, all of these Hall of Fame quarterbacks don't have, and that's 2 Super Bowl wins. And they're
iconic wins.
If he only had that 1 Super Bowl win, if he only won that 1 Super Bowl, he would still go down as the guy who freaking beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't think that he would have a better chance with 1. I think because he's got 2.
And both of them are against Brady. That is
right,
what people don't stress.
But if he only had 1, though. But if you looked at if he only had 1, I feel like having 2, it strengthens his case. You know what I'm saying? I feel like 2 is like kind of. It's like Warner, right? If Warner was this close to winning 3 Super Bowls, you know what I'm saying? Warner would be a slam dunk, but because he lost 2 games that had nothing to do with him on the field, he's not in the Hall of Fame right now.
I feel like people discredit Eli for a while because if we're being completely honest, the 2 runs that the Giants had, the 2 playoff runs to the Super Bowl, each year the Giants had top 5 defense. The Giants really, and you might be a Giants fan. I'm not 100%.
I'm not actually. I'm not a Giants fan.
Okay, that's good.
You say what you want.
The Giants had the same issues that the Packers had, but not to the same extent because Aaron and Eli are completely on 2 different levels. But the Giants never really surrounded Eli Manning with talent on the offensive side for years.
Yeah, I mean, running game was hit or miss. Tiki, the first 2 years was okay, then retired. Wide receivers, he had Amani Toomer. He had
Plaxico Burress. He had Odell.
Odell at the end, okay. He had Odell. He had Victor
but
Cruz.
you can't forget about Saquon, though. Saquon Barkley was on that roster.
Yeah, but he only had Barkley for what, 2 years?
Like 2 years.
The prime of Eli's career. Yeah,
he had Jeremy Shockey. I mean, that's really about it.
Yeah, but Shockey wasn't there that long with Eli.
Nah, but Shockey was a dog, though. I'll tell you. You ever go back and watch some Jeremy Shockey
I remember
highlights,
Jeremy
man.
Shockey. He came into the league with Kerry Collins as the quarterback. He was Miami. But he wasn't there that long with Eli Manning. He went to the Saints, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he went to the Saints. I mean, Eli never really had, that number 1 guy. I mean, if you can call Plaxico Burress that number 1 guy, or you can call Odell that number 1 guy, not
for a long period of time. So Burress was not there for a long period of time. Victor Cruz was not a number 1. You mentioned Barkley, running back, 1 year he had him. You mentioned Amani Toomer was okay.
Brandon Jacobs was a pretty decent little running back there for a minute.
Another guy for 2-3 years. Tiki Barber was the 1 year that he was the starting quarterback. It was never a prolonged period of time. That's the problem he had. Never a prolonged period.
And you see, I hate to bring up this comparison, but Peyton had Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Austin Collie, Edgerrin James, Joseph Adai.
Yeah.
Edgerrin James
Eli didn't have that.
Cardinals team.
I mean, he had Shockey the first year of the Super Bowl, and then he left, right? And then you had, again, Tiki Barber leaves the second year he's in the league. I mean, he didn't have them for 6, 7, 8 years. I mean, like I said, maybe Amani Toomer. Was Ike Hilliard still there, I think, right, with the Giants? Ike Hilliard?
Maybe. The only, receivers that I really can think.
I mean, David Tyree had the catch, but he wasn't a great receiver. I mean, Victor Cruz was okay for a year or 2, but he got hurt. I mean, it wasn't a great core of receivers. I mean, like I said, Cruz was good for a couple years. But after that, who did he have? It wasn't a long list.
Yeah, for sure. Do I think Eli was, a top 10 quarterback, top 30 quarterback of all time? Probably not. But he still has that dog in him, and he beat Brady twice, and he's the only quarterback that ever say, "Hey, I beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice."
So you think he gets in no problem?
I think it may take the second to third time for him to get in, but I think he'll get in. I know for a fact he'll get in. He's a Manning.
You know for a fact? What
name alone,
we don't know Sportzwire. And his career record, by the way, I was right. 117 and 117.
Hey, 2 of those 117 are some Super Bowls, though.
No, listen. It's like Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning have almost identical careers in the coaching and the quarterback ranks. But I concede they're going to get into the Hall of Fame. All right, I'll come back to football in a minute. I want to get to a few people. First of all, I want to say hello to our buddy, one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions, Mr. Darkron. Mr. Darkron, I'm surprised he's here. He actually had a surgery earlier today. We're glad he's doing very well. He's obviously recovering. And last week, unfortunately, his grandmother passed away. So really a tough time for our friends over in DKW and especially Mr. Darkron. So I'm glad that he's doing well, and I want to give him my thoughts and prayers. And please, everybody, join me in keeping our thoughts with Mr. Darkron and hope that he continues to recover. I want to say hello to somebody that I think you know. Was this from the TSF Takes?
He is. He's also a part of TSF Takes.
What up,
It's my boy.
This isn't this isn't Shane here, right?
No, it's not Shane. No.
I'm right here, dude. I'm in another planet right now, dude.
We might be another planet, but let's come back to his comments. Scooby in the chat. Eli had a terrible interception problem for being an accurate guy. If Eli Manning gets in, we got to throw in 15 QBs in the league right now. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my point, though. I mean, if you think about it, like, then if Eli Manning gets in, I mean, you know, does Matt Ryan get in the Hall of Fame? He just retired, we think.
What about Ryan Fitzpatrick in that matter?
Nah, Ryan Fitzpatrick don't get in. Matt Ryan, I would say
Matt Ryan's very borderline. He's
he had such a consistent good career, and then, but I think that 28-3, that's really gonna haunt him for like forever. Nobody will ever forget that.
Statistically, he had a better career than Eli Manning, though. Statistically,
for sure. But when you give up the biggest, comeback in Super Bowl history, and then when he played for the Colts, he gave up the biggest comeback in NFL history. It's hard to escape those allegations right there.
Does Matthew Stafford get in the Hall of Fame?
For sure. For sure.
So then if Eli's getting in, Matthew Stafford gets in, Matt Ryan gets in, Phillip Rivers gets in. I mean,
it's so hard to compare Stafford to Manning because Stafford threw for 5,000 yards multiple times.
So Stafford had some great years. Stafford had some awesome years.
He had, he had Megatron for a little bit, but you can't even just say, oh, he had Megatron. Nah, I'm sorry. Like, even without Megatron, Matt Stafford was still putting up like 5,000 yards almost.
He's got the one. He got the one Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's I think what Scooby even wants to tell us is that Kirk Cousins maybe should get into the Hall of Fame.
I don't even want to talk about Kirk Cousins. I have beef with Kirk Cousins. I think that dude.
So what did he do to your fantasy football team the last 2 years?
Oh, absolutely nothing. He's just such a mid quarterback. And he plays for the Vikings. I'm a Packer fan, so it's in division.
Well, statistically though, Kirk Cousins has had some really big years. I mean, playoffs he's garbage, but in terms of regular season stats, he's had some really good moments.
Yeah, but put him in prime time. He's just not. And then I've seen multiple clips of him lining up behind the freaking guard to take a snap.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Listen, I've spoke about him throughout my 5 years, and I've had a lot of issues with him. And I don't do fantasy football, but let me get to some more comments here. Also, thank you so much, Tom. I'm a real good guy. I don't know about that. These are the good guys. These are the guys here that I want to be like these guys when I grow up. These guys who I'm meeting for the first time. I feel like these faces are so familiar. I don't know where I've seen you. Maybe it was at.
I'm pretty sure you've seen like a Shane Davison or something like that, man.
Now that's a name I know I've seen before. I've seen that guy in a few main events. Seen that in a promotion of a company, but this guy Shane here. I mean, it's like Hulk Hogan, Mr. America, 2003. I mean, maybe we got to get the lie detector test. Want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Steven Silvestri from Resurrection Wrestling. They have a show coming up next weekend. I'm going to try to get some coverage with them before next weekend's show. I'm not sure when that could be, but stay tuned. But let me get to a few more things. Want to get to Eden Sorensen, but want to get to Scooby first. Yep, got that. Stafford actually might be a top 10 quarterback all time. You really think he's a top 10 all time? That's a bold statement. I think he's a Hall of Famer. But does that mean is John Elway out of the top 10? Does that mean that Joe Montana is out of the top 10? Does that mean?
I don't know, man. With the arms we have like nowadays, I mean, there's a lot of like old heads that are gonna like get pushed out of the top 10.
I feel like Joe Montana will forever be in that top 10. He was like the first guy
first
really
modern
like.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had like Terry Bradshaw, but
Terry
I
Bradshaw is
have
a guy like who had a career losing record, I think, or but won 4
Terry
Super Bowls.
Bradshaw has more interceptions as touchdowns in his career,
Yeah,
and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
So same as
Yeah.
what's his name? Broadway Joe Namath.
Joe
Namath has
Namath
more.
got in there. Well, listen, Kurt Warner's case is the same as Joe Namath's. Joe Namath got in there for one moment. Kurt Warner would be getting into the Super Bowl for 1 moment. You know, it's funny we talk about these different names. I'm surprised nobody throws out there Donovan McNabb as a guy that gets more Hall of Fame consideration. If you're going to put all these other guys in, Donovan McNabb was great for a long period of time. He didn't win the big one. He got to 1 and got the 4 other championship games. Just saying.
Donovan McNabb is such an odd case for me because his peak was really, really good, but for some reason for me
dropped off.
I remember more from when I was a teenager and in middle school.
Yeah, his era, you said you got into football in 2008, so his peak run is like 2000 to like 2005. So you would have been.
I saw him mainly which is crazy, a Washington Commander. Well, formerly known, the Washington team.
The Washington football team.
Not trying to get canceled here.
Yeah, we don't want to do that on Sportzwire because I always tell people that I had shot a couple of months ago on an ex-British wrestling promoter, and like half of the independent wrestlers loved it, and the other half probably would like to hang me in parts of the country. So we don't want that. But yeah, McNabb was great for a long period of time, but unfortunately, he dropped off quicker than a New York Minute. So that's certainly an interesting point. I'll come back to football in a minute, but Ethan Sorensen wants to ask, what would be your favorite thing in 2K24? So first is, what is your favorite thing in 2K24? And second, is WWE 2K24 the only WWE game, or do you have WWE 2K15? I don't know why 2K15 comes up, but can you answer that?
My favorite thing in WWE 2K24, I'm looking forward to like just all around gameplay now. Like you can move the cameras around, and I can have it facing like the entranceway, like it did back in like SmackDown versus Raw, or like here, what is it? SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Like
yes, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Yep.
Like I get to relive my childhood, but with better graphics. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
James Taylor's Instagram, his childhood was the debut of SmackDown. Way back in the time machine. Speaking of that,
but to answer your question, it's just going to be strictly WWE 2K24. I try to stay away from like the older games.
Okay. For you, is it the same thing, Mr. Sadboi?
I've actually been thinking about getting like a PS2 or an original PlayStation and playing like.
How much would that cost though to get a PS2 or PS?
$50.
That's it, really? Wow. So it's not like Nintendo, where Nintendo's like a whole big thing if you have a Nintendo.
Oh my goodness! If you have a Nintendo Wii, like that thing like goes for like $150 by itself.
But the original Nintendo would be like a huge relic. The 1985 Nintendo, but you can get a PlayStation for $50. That's it. Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. But I've been thinking about playing. I grew up like playing Here Comes the Pain and stuff. I never had like the new stuff. I always had like the things that came out years before. But I kind of liked it. I played every single SmackDown versus Raw. I played the Here Comes the Pain. Just Bring It. And I would love to get those games again and really sit down and play them. I was a huge fan of WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, the GM mode. I've always been a fan of GM mode, and I think that's the one complaint I have about the new WWE games is they just didn't get GM mode quite right for me. It just don't feel the same.
Well, I've got some news, so let me get to some people here. First of all, I got a lot of comments here, and speaking of people that play games, I'll have Mr. James Taylor in a second, but let's go to Scooby. Joe Montana is in the 10. John Elway was great, but not very memorable stats. Okay, I could kind of agree with that, but he's got the 2 Super Bowls, and John Elway went to 3 other ones. The only reason why I put John Elway in there because he's got the 5 Super Bowl appearances. If he had Montana's offense, he could have been a superior quarterback, same as Steve Young. Steve Young, though, I'll say this about Steve Young. Steve Young only had kind of a 5-year, maybe 5 or 6 year run. It's hard to put him as an all-time great when he only really had like 6 great years. In the case of Elway, he did have Terrell Davis at the end of his career. He had McCaffrey and Davis, and Rod Smith.
Shannon
it was
Sharp. No,
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Shannon Sharp. But it was, again, not till the tail end of his career. But he did have, when he won the 2 Super Bowls, he had those elements. But I think 5 Super Bowls to me is something to consider. But no, you're not wrong, Scooby, in that. Also, before I come back to Mr. Taylor, people love to discredit new guys compared to older dudes, but Montana never threw 4,000 yards once. He threw 30 touchdowns only once. Got to show respect to some guys like Stafford. He's got the ring now. Yeah, Stafford, that's why I asked you if Matthew Stafford would be in the Hall of Fame. That's kind of why I asked,
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't know.
And I guess if Steve Young's in the Hall of Fame, Matthew Stafford should be in, because Steve Young only really had 6 great years. You can look at it from that standpoint.
I get where Scooby's coming from with the argument, but also it's a little counter argument, playing a little devil's advocate. Joe Montana also played in a completely different era. It was more of a run-heavy, stifling defense of an era, and he still put up like 4,000 yards back in the 80s and 90s. Is like throwing for 5,000 today.
The only quarterback that really threw 4,000 yards regularly in that era was Marino.
Yeah,
that was the only one. I don't even know if Elway threw 4,000. I think Drew Bledsoe in the early part of the 90s threw 4,000 yards, but there was very few quarterbacks in the 80s. Maybe Warren Moon. Warren Moon probably threw 4,000 yards, but
I think
that's
Brett
it.
Favre might have. He's a gunslinger, but
but Brett was also. I mean, Brett Favre played for like 50 years. So
Yeah.
he was in the league by the time the league became a pass-happy league. So yeah, that makes sense. I still think Montana, because of winning the 3 Super Bowls, has got to be in there. Let me come back to, first of all, say hello to Gaming for God. Gaming for God, how you doing, Gaming? Nice to see you. And if you're here, guys, Scooby and Gaming for God, give me a follow since I subscribe to the TFK on YouTube. Hit that sub button for us on Sportswire Radio. It's $65.79. We're closing on 600 subscribers. So if you like what you hear from us, by the way, we have a Friday show where we talk about sports and different things, and you guys are always welcomed on that. Anybody who wants to talk football, baseball, basketball, you name it, we are going to have that at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. The first hour, I'm talking SmackDown, AEW, WWE. In the second half, I'll talk football, baseball, whatever else is on your mind. Before I get to James Taylor, I'll never take away from Montana's rings, but when do we start to judge raw talent? He's not as talented as Stafford. You agree with that, Sadboi?
I agree, because like at the same time, I consider Tom Brady, my fault, the best quarterback of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time. But I still think that Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback. He's the most talented quarterback of all time.
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers had the only season that was a legitimate perfect season in quarterback rating, right? Didn't he have the only season that you could legitimately say is a perfect one in quarterback rating?
Aaron Rodgers hit 500 touchdown passes before he hit 100 career interceptions.
Right, that was my point. I mean, he had one year, it was like 36 TDs, like 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions.
I want to say his last MVP season was 43 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. There was one year he threw like 41 touchdowns to 2 interceptions.
That's my point.
And then I just watched like highlights from that season, and I did the math itself. He threw 3 interceptions that season. Every single interception was from a receiver bobbling the ball. He never truly threw an interception that season.
Yeah, no, so Aaron Rodgers speaks for itself, and the Jets will never get half those numbers.
Nope. But I'm so glad we have Jordan Love now.
But also Steve Young. Yeah, Steve Young had five immaculate years, and he was completion percentage. He led it 5 times. So Steve Young, kind of like the Sandy Koufax comparison in baseball. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that Matthew Stafford will make the Hall of Fame. But again, guys like Matt Ryan, I'm sure they get maybe a harder look. Phillip Rivers gets a harder look. Lamar Jackson will be an interesting case. Josh Allen will be an interesting case. No,
I think Lamar's I'm sorry. I think Lamar's clear cut going to be a Hall of Famer. Okay. I mean, he almost has 2 unanimous MVPs. He was 1 vote off to being.
Now, what about Josh Allen then? What about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, to me, right now, isn't anywhere close to being a Hall of Famer. He has the potential to be a Hall of Famer, but as of right now, he has nothing on his resume that makes me want to sit down and be like, yeah, this dude's the for sure.
But he's got better stats career-wise than Jackson.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the accomplishments. But it's just Josh Allen is. I feel like Josh Allen can be put in the same category as a Dan Marino, a Phillip Rivers, some of those people like
Warren
that
Moon.
who were great quarterbacks, but just wrong place, wrong time, and that especially shows for Josh Allen. Josh Allen in particular is in the AFC in the reign of Mahomes. I mean,
yeah, and I feel like that Josh Allen is not going to be going anywhere soon to the big one.
No.
Let me get to before I promise I come to Mr. Taylor, but I would counter argue that these guys are much more talented nowadays. Josh Allen might be the best hybrid ever, but he's not successful due to Mahomes. Yeah, and Burrow also is up in there in that category. You know, it's a fair point. I think that's certainly fair points. But let me come back to Mr. James Taylor. Now, this guy looks familiar right now. Maybe guys that might be related to you. You might have shared a locker room or may not have shared a locker room with this individual. But he says, "What's up, guys? Picked up my 2K24 2 days ago." And he said his childhood was the debut of Monday Night Raw. Wow. That's 31 years ago. Wow, I didn't realize that was the case. But he said 93. I was 9. Wow. That was in the Manhattan Center, which is not too far from where I live. What a small world. And that was, I think, right around the time of Ric Flair about to lose a loser leaves town match to Mr. Perfect. And he says he's got all those games. So there you go from James Taylor. So that's what he's got to say. And I may have a feeling we may talk about the Nemesis here in a little while. But, Sadboi, I definitely want to come back to the football in a second. But, one of the things I was also excited about was that, apparently you're a recording artist and you've got some music out there. And actually, if it was okay with you, we actually have the ability to maybe play a sample of some of that music. So for those that are listening and watching, Mr. Sadboi, you want to talk about the music first before maybe or maybe not with your blessings, only if that, we would play some of the music, but let's talk about maybe some of the return of the music, and hopefully it keeps Shane interested and high.
Yeah, I took a little hiatus from music for a while. I had a lot of things that I needed to work on as an artist, and especially trying to get my mind back into making music. Because when you drop a project, I dropped my project back in 2020. It's kind of hard to. I was in a mindset for the longest time that I won't be able to replicate or do better than what I did, which is a stupid mindset to be in the first place, because that was really my first ever project, my first ever time really trying to do music like seriously. And over the years, I've just honing in on my craft, really trying new things, trying different patterns of words, different
not
melodies.
Staying trendy anymore.
No, definitely staying trendy. But it's
you recognize that person. That was funny though. That was funny. I always got to bring that up.
It's been a wild ride, man. I mean, I've done so many things over the years, and to finally come back to something that I'm really passionate about, and to come back to something that I never really truly got to finish is really cool, especially coming back after 4 years of really not dropping anything.
Yeah, because you recorded music during COVID, right? That was when the last music came out, was during the pandemic. Did. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I've had a lot of... I made a lot of songs with Shane, and I'm finally getting the chance to put some of those songs out and to really...
I'm surprised when you guys were in a previous life that company that you guys might have looked like you worked for never said, "Hey, can you drop some music for us?" I'm surprised.
Nah, they never really cared about it, never really even asked about it. But that's neither here nor there, it's but yeah, this newest song that I dropped it yesterday.
Well, we're gonna play it here in a couple seconds. I played it 3 times on my SoundCloud channel. I love it, by the way. I'm excited about it.
It's going to be on my new EP that's going to be coming out here very soon. I don't have a particular date just yet, but I can leak the name.
Well, I'll tell you
of the
what.
EP.
When you have music out, you message me. I'm actually gonna do something for you. I will buy your new music. I'll buy it.
I appreciate it's greatly appreciated. You know, when you're up and coming artist, you know, anything helps.
Well,
Literally anything.
as you gentlemen may know, before I get to a couple of comments, you know, I am certainly the man that has always been known as the land of opportunities or the land of giving. I think that's what always people tell me at this point. But as I'm affectionately called by some people, Uncle Tommy. But let me first of all give a big shout out to Scooby Stoney. And Scooby, I want to give you a big shout out. I want to tell you this, Scooby, and this is for any of the for the TSFF takes guys, for you guys. Anytime you want to come on Friday nights and talk sports, could be baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, you are more than welcome when I do the regular Sportswire show. So if you guys want to come on and you guys want to talk sports, talk football, whatever it is, free invite. You're welcome anytime, and I'm on tomorrow night, so you guys are more than welcome.
Do a TSF takeover, bro. That'd be hard.
Take over, because my regular guys on the Sportswire show, they pretty much draw basically flies. So we might need the TSF takes guys to spice things up. So you know, if you guys want to pop on and talk some sports and you know add your flavor to it before I do something for you guys, we'd love to have you. So that would definitely be something that you know.
Big shout out, my boy Big T. I really hope Big T comes on here because you would love Big T. He is the most energetic, funniest guy I know. Big T would be an amazing ad to the podcast.
Well, we'll definitely add him, and you sure will be more funnier than that one segment that person that used to be somebody that looked like you with that guy that maybe did the woo. Was it more funny? He's more funnier than that.
Oh, that was the stupidest fucking shit. That was so stupid. I hated every second of
Big
that.
T is one of those people that in casual conversation he can really make you laugh. I mean, he can really make your belly laugh. I mean, he's just a straight up funny dude.
Well,
I mean,
my running joke is just by my mugshot, people might laugh. You know.
No, I don't think so, Tom. I think you're a handsome man.
Well, we'll certainly see. But before I actually get to that music, I want to say hello also to Mr. Taylor, saying that he was 15 when SmackDown debuted. Yeah, because SmackDown's coming up on the 25th anniversary. Because SmackDown debuted, it actually, and James will probably know this, it actually debuted as a standalone episode back in 1999 because it didn't appear as a regular show until later in that summer of 99. So that's correct. 25 years ago. Man, time flies. What's up, Jake? I want to say hello to Mr. Drake Gold Dragon. How you doing, Drake?
What up, Drake?
I like the Resurrection guys. Some of them guys always coming in. They're always awesome guys with us. We love the Resurrection guys. I'm gonna hold off on the wrestling question, Ethan, for a second. But you know, Sadboi, obviously, you know, we're plugging this. We're having a great time, and you know, maybe we'll see you guys take over the show Friday, tomorrow night, 11 o'clock Eastern time. But before I do that, would it be all right for the audience watching this if maybe we would actually, you know, play a sample, a little bit of the brand new music, kind of a world premiere on Sportswire Radio, only if you would want so, Mr. Sadboi?
I definitely do.
Oh boy, I cannot wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to get in for a real treat on Sportswire Radio. We are going to have brand new world premiere music from Sadboi himself, so switch it up because Big U is in the commander chair and he did a great job producing this track. I'm setting the tables for you, so definitely we are going to numb your pain and certainly give you everything in between and a bag of chips. So get that bag of chips, get that soda, get on that lounge chair right away, and stand by as we play brand new world premiere music for Sadboi. It's called Switch Up Freestyle, produced by Big U. So let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, and let's join the conversation. Let's play some of it, and let's get ready to have a good time.
Shawty think that she a rock star, but she fucking with a rock star. I'd rather fuck with a foreign bride than foreign car. I can see the future, yeah, I'm going far. We can really get the fight and we can fucking spar. I'ma knock your ass so you won't see tomorrow. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Just got a new bitch and she giving me rain. Just got a new whip and we going insane. Just got the new zip and it's a new strain. Smoking on the Zaza, yeah, we smoking runs. Keep a blade on me, bitch, I feel like drums. Had to switch the flow up on. Cody now pour up on. Purple in that dirty Sprite, I had to double cup on, But I drank too much, I might throw up. There's so much stress on my shoulder like a boulder. Keep my composure, I'm a soldier. But I gotta carry on. Pussy boy, how you gon' fold? I get the pack, I get the strap, then I'ma roll. Getting so much money that my pockets gon' swole. If you ain't heard of me, pussy boy, you gon' know. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Just got a new bitch and she giving me brain. Just got a new whip and we going insane. Just got the new zip and it's a new strain. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Just got a new bitch and she giving me brain. Just got a new whip and we going insane. Just cop a new tip and it's a new strain. But on a real note, I can really fuck with old hoes and new hoes. Focused on that bankroll, the narrow. I'm a good fella like De Niro. And that pussy stretchy like Play-Doh. Tell her it was fun, but now I gotta go. Can't fuck with old hoes, this is new hoes. Beat that pussy so good she feeling her toes. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Yeah, I'm switching lanes. Just got a new bitch and she give me rain. Just caught the new whip and we going insane. Just caught the new zip and it's a new strain. And we smoking on pressure. And steady counting my cheddar. Pussy boy, you better catch up. But that pussy sweet just like some ketchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the world premiere of the brand new single from Sadboi. It's called Switch Up Freestyle. It's produced by Big U. You can hear that on the SoundCloud channel of Sadboi. You can check him out at Sadboyville. And you can also check him out on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you have social media. Go out and follow this man. Go support him. He is definitely changing lanes like he was once in a company in Lafayette. Now he's doing something different like it was 4 years ago. He certainly was once a main eventer. Maybe now he'll hit the big time with the new single. I don't think that James Taylor's coming out to this. Maybe Anthony Steele can't mention his name though in Lafayette. Make sure that you check this out on SoundCloud, because if you don't, you are certainly going to want to get your head checked. Sadboi, take over the microphone, because I'm really not doing a good job to that beat now.
Hey, you was going in there for a minute, Tom. I mean, hey, you had it.
Oh, I always like to tell people, I am from Brooklyn, New York. So, New York is kind of the epicenter of, hip hop and other things. And, I do pick up a lot of things, but we're having fun with it. By the way, Single Bangs, it's a great single. Just talk about, before we come into other things, the process of making this single and just, the overall satisfaction so far and now that it's out.
It's completely 100% different than anything I've done under the name of Sadboyville. A little tidbit. I used to go by the name Clout Kirby, and I had 2 songs under that name. And this kind of sounds a little bit like that, but it was a long day in the studio, and we had just wrapped up recording, and we was partaking in a substance, and I was like, just throw a beat on. I'm just gonna freestyle, just messing around at first. But then I started actually catching the feel of the beat, and of course, this isn't the actual freestyle. I took the freestyle and re-recorded it so I didn't sound like crap. But but this is pretty much off the head, and it's something that I recorded probably 3 years ago, and I just
so
got
this
around.
was not even something you did recently. This was basically a track that was left over. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I have about, I would say, 20 to 25 songs that I have in the vault at all times to really just do anything I want with. And
so why hadn't you released them in all these years? I mean, Kane, obviously, I would be curious on what you thought of that, but why hadn't you released all that music in that time?
There's just sometimes to where you don't feel like it's quite there. All of the songs that I have in the vault are a good 75 to 50% done. There's some songs that I have 100% done. It's just all about really timing for one, and for two, sometimes I like to let them marinate, and I'll get to the point where because I'm my biggest critic. I am my biggest critic. If I can sit down and really listen to this song and really understand what it's talking about and really get the grasp of it, and if I like it, I know that other people will like it because I am my biggest critic. And sometimes I have to continue tweaking songs, tweaking what lyrics I say, the flow that I want to go to, the melody.
I love the De Niro line when you said he was a good fella like De Niro. That was a good. You went for the mucho, the bank De Niro, then you went to the good fella De Niro. That was a good line there.
Oh yeah, I like to add double entendres in my songs. I like double meanings to things. I think the type of music that I make, it's more of a melodic, but the wordplay.
Yeah, you were very. I know the prior music was very reflective on your life experiences. This one didn't feel as much on that. This one felt more like it was really a freestyle song. It was kind of a mesh of different things. It didn't feel as more autobiographical, if whatever the term might be.
I honestly truly feel like the best music is made when it's from the heart, and if you're a musician, the music you make reflects the person, the feeling.
Well, just ask Taylor Swift about that. I mean, listen, every song she's made is about a breakup of somebody. I'm sure. When's the Travis Kelce song coming out?
I mean, I can agree, but honestly, I mean, that's why people love to be able to relate. If you're not relatable, then what's the point? I listen to music to be relatable. There's a TikTok. There's a person who's on TikTok. He did broke boyfriend skits, and he kind of blew up doing that. But then he started he used it as a stepping stool for his music, and he just started dropping music here recently. His name's Honest Stav. He is a very, very, very good artist in my opinion, and he makes very relatable music. Juice WRLD made relatable music. A lot of these artists, J. Cole, for instance, makes very relatable music at times. There's some times where he'd be talking and stuff, but that's kind of all artists.
Yeah, I mean, there's moments an artist is going to want to flex their muscles. An artist, not everything's going to be basically based on life experiences. And before you come back to that, I want to say hello to one of your buddies and my buddy, Mr. D'Angelo LaFlame, of course, the Resurrection Wrestling Internet Champion. And speaking about energy, speaking about guys that could definitely have some bangers, and maybe he should come out to this music here. But D'Angelo, I know we're going to get him on Sportswire. I don't know if it's going to be before the 17th. It might be before the 17th, but he does say hello, and I say hello, and I hope you guys say hello to him. And D'Angelo,
that's guy right there.
We love D'Angelo. D'Angelo is one of my favorites, by the way. D'Angelo is the man, and he is one of the top stars of Resurrection Wrestling. And D'Angelo, we were playing the brand new song from Sadboi. If you haven't yet got a chance to hear it, you can actually go to the SoundCloud page of Sadboiville. All you have to do is put in that search on SoundCloud, Sadboiville, and the brand new single, world premiere on Sportswire Radio, Switch Up Freestyle. It's produced by Big U. And speaking of somebody else, I want to say hello to the Candy Crush from XCW. I want to say hello to everybody's Candy Crush here, certainly my Candy Crush, and hopefully she is doing good out there. She was just on XCW's Take Over the World show. It was kind of bizarre on what happened there, but Candy, we're actually playing brand new music from Sadboi and it's your boy Shane, who they might actually look familiar because they had people that looked like them that worked in a company called Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. But how you doing there, our Candy Crush? And certainly if you're out there on Sportswire Radio, hope you give us a like and follow. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and we are having a great time with two guys that used to look like Shane Davidson and Alan Michaels, but they're not Shane Davidson and Alan Michaels. They're It's Your Boy Shane. Oh, really?
You got me, Tom. You got me. I couldn't hide from me.
No, it can't be.
From you.
Can't
my God.
Can't
Who
be.
was that guy? That's crazy.
I don't know. But speaking of somebody I do know who's from Mulholland Drive out there in California, he successfully retained his tag team championships, but he didn't win the match. But he still retained the championship. He's on his way to having maybe the longest run in the history of the XCW Tag Team Championships. He is in our Hall of Fame, our first one from XCW. He's the first real wrestler, Mr. Justin Parsley. He says, "Here's Justin," and he says, "Good evening," and good evening to you, Mr. Parsley's. We can follow you on all platforms at Parsley's. So, okay, I actually will bring it up because people now I see are starting to tune in, and also she says she's hanging in there because she's going through something, and I hope that Candy will certainly make sure she crushes whatever she's going through, because whatever she's going through, she'll crush it. But I have a question for you guys, and I want to bring it up because for the wrestling fans out there who might recognize your faces, what's your thoughts of Team Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 Night 1? What do you guys think on that?
Well, of course, you know, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are going to go over so the bloodline can stay out of the way. That's.
I disagree with it. I think that The Rock and Roman are going to reign supreme, don't you?
I think that as well.
I don't think for the simple reason that Cody's got to finish the story one way or another.
But doesn't he finish the story with more adversity?
You got me, Tom.
Like, and you guys should have now. Guys that look like you in that company you might have worked for should have finished that story, but you know it didn't. But in this case, doesn't it make the most sense for The Rock and Roman to put all the obstacles against Cody, and then Cody finally defies the odds and wins the big one at night 2 main event? Doesn't that make more sense or no? Tell me why.
I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but like that. But having the bloodline be a part of like the end match for Roman and Cody, like.
But wouldn't that make more sense? Do you think? Because
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, it could go either way. Like, honestly, like, the thing is like, I think they want to make it to where Cody beats Roman fair and clean.
Okay, there was a spot. And I'm people are tuned in, they can have a thought on this. And I see Sadboi looking at me with those Sadboi eyes. But, you know, maybe it's kind of how when I was trying to butcher his music there. But I'll come back to Candy in a second, our Candy Crush. But there was a moment on SmackDown last week where Roman asked The Rock to acknowledge him. Wouldn't it make the most sense, hear me out, for The Rock and Roman to win night 1, but something to happen there between The Rock and Roman to kind of set off where The Rock's going to be on for the next 3 SmackDowns, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to basically get him here right before night 1 main event. Wouldn't that set something up and make the most sense for something to happen in their match at night 2 to eventually get what the people want is The Rock and Roman Reigns at some point? What do you guys think of that?
Most definitely, but like, you also got to think, The Rock hasn't even acknowledged Roman yet.
Well, he did sort of. After.
This isn't acknowledging. This is not acknowledging Roman Reigns.
He sort of did, though. I mean,
he's saying he's going to get handed an L. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
You want to say something, Sadboi? You want to say something? You want to change lanes on us?
You honestly have to think The Rock and Roman have to win night 1. The bloodline has to be a part of this finish because this is how they're going to end one of, if not the greatest storyline in WWE history.
I think in modern wrestling history, it's still easily the longest one. I mean, people talked about the NWO, but I don't remember the NWO being this good. DX was good, but not a short time. Evolution was okay. I mean, it was okay.
You know why? Go ahead.
I don't know what they did with this story to make it so like intriguing. But
the 3.5 years that they've kept up with this. 3.5 years.
And the thing is, it's never had a dull moment, and like that's what's drawing me in. I'm like, damn, Roman's still champion, but like it keeps sucking me in. I'm like, damn.
Well, that's what listen. Compared to Evolution, DX, the NWO, they got dull, they got stale after a time. This is kind of kept evolving. What do you want to say, Sadboi? Change lanes for us.
The reason we look back fondly of the NWO and fondly of DX and fondly of Evolution, their storylines were great, yes, but every single one of them, besides really Evolution, had a horrible ending.
Terrible. The NWO. the NWO was painful. I mean, they tried so many times to bring in the NWO. NWO was terrible. Degeneration X, I mean, I guess when Shawn Michaels and Triple H got back together, it was okay, but it was not the DX that I remember with the...
It was a tame, dulled down version of DX.
Yeah, because Shawn Michaels was a Christian, and he didn't want to do certain things, and it was...
Heading kind of into the PG era a little bit, the tail end of it.
It's the borderline. I mean, yeah, Evolution was good, but I never was invested in Evolution compared to this. Never.
Evolution had a good little ending with Batista turning and Randy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was really good. But
it wasn't like, I didn't have that oomph. You know, it wasn't the oomph.
I think, in my personal opinion, if they do the Bloodline story ending right, that the Bloodline story will go down as the greatest storyline in wrestling history.
Eric Bischoff already said on his podcast that it is the greatest storyline in history.
They really need to stick this landing, in my personal... I love the story. Even if they don't stick the landing, I still think it'll go down as one of the greatest. But if they can just nail this ending, there's no debates with anyone. No one can debate it if they nail the ending.
All right, let me ask you guys both this question. I see that people are here, and now we're getting into the wrestling side of things, where guys, you might be looked kind of familiar from a different life, but is there a possibility that Roman could actually retain at WrestleMania 40? Because I still think there's a chance. You say no, why not? Why no chance?
Roman's still battling leukemia really bad. He's trying to take time out of the ring. That's why he's a part-timer. That's why he doesn't wrestle as often as
what he used to. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point.
So Roman wants to take time off. He wants to be with his kids, be with his family. He like the thing is like, as much as I hate him being in creative, and like as much as I love the Bloodline story, it's a love-hate relationship with it, you know. And I think it's time for Roman to take some time away for a while. He's done it. He's been here. He's been there 365 days out of every single year,
except for this past little bit of his run. Am I lying?
Oh, there we go. You lost. I got lost. Unfortunately, that's Wi-Fi. But yeah, I mean, I still think that have to ask the question, right? Can't you ask the question that there's still a possibility that Roman could retain?
If there's a will, there's a way. Yes, there's a possibility that Roman can retain. There's that 5% in my book. But when it comes to Roman's health, I still think he's going to take that time away.
I personally think that Cody's going to finish story at Mania, and I think this is going to be a new chapter, but there's also that little voice in the back of my head saying, what if they have something else planned? What if they plan on turning Cody heel?
There's the talk about Seth Rollins turning heel.
Oh, that's big talk.
There's so many things that I wouldn't like to see Roman retain, because I honestly think this is the perfect time to end this story.
I think if it doesn't end now, that Roman's champion for the tech. You really want my opinion? I think that if Roman wins in Philadelphia at 40, that he will be champion for another 3 years.
Yeah, honestly, Cody's the last person we have to really have a credible shot at taking that belt off.
I just hope he's not champion by the time Mania comes to Nashville. I don't want to see that.
Why not? Would that be good for you guys?
No.
Because listen, Sadboi could have some music. Maybe he could get it to maybe somebody that gets some music. We could change some lanes. Maybe make some dinero for a change. Unlike in the other promotion you worked for, or quote unquote you might have worked for once upon a time.
A handshake is all we got paid for.
Was it a firm handshake at least?
No. Well, what the fuck is that?
Who gives handshakes like that, by the way?
People.
He's the worst knockoff.
I'm going to say nothing on that for a moment, but I'm going to bring somebody on in a couple of minutes that you guys might have looked familiar to. Also, thank you for that. And by the way, I want to extend to the TSF Takes, guys. Anybody that wants to come on Friday nights, welcome invite. You guys want to talk whatever you want in the world of sports.
TSF Takeover.
Take over, because you know what? I am actually looking for, gentlemen, somebody to actually take over on Sportswire, because, you know, it's funny. On Sunday's show, I was actually trying to retire because Sting had retired, and now there's, I don't know if you guys have seen this now on Facebook, there's a whole bunch of, like, imitators to Sportswire. Now, we know them all. Some of them, you know, we are friends with, but, like, there's a C2K Talks, there's a Skulls Talks, there's a Zack Attack Talks, there's a Queen May Talks, there's a Wolfpack Hour. So I decided, well, you know what? My job is done. Let those guys talk to all the other people. So, but apparently people were saying, no, please don't retire. We want you to stay. Those people, they aren't, well, yours truly. And I was trying to be very diplomatic about that. But, you know.
We love you, Tom. We don't want you to go.
Listen, I just lost Jason Kelsey. I can't lose you too, Tom. We can't.
Fair enough. But speaking of people that we lost real quick, what did you guys think about Sting retiring? Was it the perfect retirement? And is Sting done for good?
I think Sting's done for good. He's done it all. I mean, there's not really much to prove.
I was gonna try to defend the fact that maybe he could go one more time in the WWE.
I was thinking the same thing. You know, I keep thinking to myself, everybody says they're gonna retire, and they never retire.
He's just so old and decrepit now, dude. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he's got his son going through real glass.
And before I come back to that, so what I'm going to do, so if you want to message me or Sadboi will, I'm on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021, and I will actually personally give you the link. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that's my social media on there. If Sadboi is on the show tomorrow, which I think, do you guys have a Twitch tomorrow stream? Are you on Twitch tomorrow?
Yeah.
We can do the Twitch and this. I mean,
whatever you want. But if the guys are on, they'll give you the link. If not, they're on their show. I'll give you the link if you want to get in touch with me through Instagram at the Sports Report 2020. Either way, anybody from the TSF Takes is always welcome for an open invite anytime on Sportswire. So if you guys want to come on and talk sports, you're welcome to. It's completely up to what you guys want to do. But, you know, with Sting, I keep thinking, though, that he will come back and wrestle one more time.
I mean, he's like Ric Flair. He's still got that fire in him, you know.
He looks pretty good still for his age, though. Sting aged pretty well. I mean, you know.
Yeah, Ric Flair aged like milk.
Did you guys see last week on Dynamite when he did like the punches, and it was like they were like so slow? It was like, you know, maybe as slow as some punches you guys might have took in another promotion. Only kidding. We love that promotion. I actually have their shirt, so I was the joke. It was a funny joke, not so funny, but you know, you get the point. But yeah, trying. I'm working on stand-up comedy. But you know, gentlemen, you know, speaking of that company that you guys looked like you might have worked for, there's an individual that would like to pop on the stream. He would like to introduce himself. Would you be okay if I invited this individual?
Yeah,
for sure,
absolutely.
Before you invite this person on, let me go ahead and get into character real quick.
Oh boy. Really? I guess we're staying trendy then. Well, it looks like
we're staying trendy, Tom. We are staying trendy.
Oh boy.
I did enjoy. You know, I have to say, the guys that looked like that company you worked in for, I was really enjoying you guys, and then you guys left. It was like I felt like I was just getting to know those guys, and they left. I'm a little sad about that, actually. I'm a Sadboi actually about that, because those guys that looked like you were actually like really enjoying their work, and then, you know, things happen. I guess you guys changed lanes, wanted to get that De Niro, like De Niro from Goodfellas.
You know, things happen. You know, people change, but wrestling will for always be in my heart.
Well, at least you left the SWF, thank God, because the SWF, I gotta say, those guys that looked like you was, but you guys, from what I saw in the little moments in the SWF. I wasn't too happy with how you guys were treated there, if I could say it point blank.
Definitely not. Definitely don't.
I listened to that other company with 3 initials that was sort of referred to. You guys were main eventers there. And that other company that you looked like you might have worked with, people that looked like you, I didn't like how you were being treated there. That's all I'm going to say.
Definitely not. No, we had definitely a lot more to offer, but
a lot more. You guys were main eventers in a company that you guys look like that has 7,000 subscribers and we're in main events. Hello, that company that was run like a fourth world in the SWF clearly didn't know what was best for them. Clearly didn't realize they had 2 main event stars with untapped potential in there, and was basically burying you against guys that were basically like, I have no idea who they are. Maybe they were kind of at like the back of the line at KFC and maybe saying, do you want fries with that? But speaking of those things, forget about all that, because I could bash them all night. I don't want to do that because then I'll be a hypocrite about all wrestling matters. There is an individual that wants to come on, wants to promote himself. He's a big 2K24 player, big Resident Evil player, big into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm actually wearing a shirt right now, and he might have been a work colleague of guys that look like you. I am talking about none other than the legendary Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, our 2023 Personality of the Year, the Nemesis James Taylor. Now, I know this is the first time you're meeting Shane and Sadboi, but they look like guys you might have worked with, right?
They look familiar. Yeah, I know them. How you doing, guys?
What's up, man?
Don't worry. They know exactly what they're doing. I can tell, and I completely.
I love when those or these guys come on. They're becoming my favorites. I said in the promotion that looked like they might have worked for, I was just starting to get to know them. But at least we've got them here on Sportswire now, and I'm not sad no more. And we can change lanes.
Oh yeah.
God, I love that song. By the way, I'm gonna play that like 10 times tonight on my paper route.
I really
just wait. We got more coming, dude.
I can't wait. And you know what? Any music you want me to buy it, just like merchandise like this, I will buy it. So make sure that you send them more my way, and I'll make sure you get some dinero.
Gotcha, man. I really appreciate it.
So, Dave Taylor, how you doing? I mean, what's on your mind? I mean, what is good in the world of the Nemesis James Taylor, the legendary Nemesis James Taylor? You know, apparently there was an embargo on you yesterday, not to mention your name.
I'm sorry.
There was
that part.
There was an embargo. You know, obviously, we had on Hillbilly Tilly, the general manager from the Alliance Wrestling League in Alabama. We didn't get a chance to bring you up, apparently. Some might have said there could have been an embargo on you. Maybe they didn't want you there. Then Sunday's show, we had obviously you and a gentleman, Anthony Steele. Maybe the guys that looked like you might have worked with him or not worked with him. But the point is that, a lot of stuff about you these days, James Taylor. What's on your mind?
I seem to be a favorite topic to a lot of people in the backyard world.
You're living in your head rent free.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's all. I must be doing something right if they're doing it like that, right?
Period.
You know what I can't stand? I can't stand disrespect, Tom. I don't get it. But hey, if everybody wants to disrespect and be the way they are, then so be it. The hell.
What I don't understand, I still say it, is you've got 104,000 or 105,000 followers on these social media channels, and I love these companies that work with us. But when you have 105,000 followers, give or take, and one of your posts hitting like 2 or 3 billion likes on TikTok, it would seem to me still to make the most sense to, bring you in. But, obviously individuals that, run those companies or run one company in particular of your home state, they have a different direction of doing things. And, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm a hell of a promoter, and I know how to promote shit, and I know how to, post things. I know how to get people to watch. I know how to just, get everybody excited. But in some people's eyes, they're not going to cater to nobody. It doesn't matter what you got or what you could do. We're going to put you where we want to put you, and I'm not going to play that game.
Well, you know what? Maybe it's best for your business anyway. Why go somewhere that, you may not be respected or welcomed? Maybe we'll see what happens to you in Lafayette. I don't know what the future is with you in Lafayette, but it looks like you and Anthony Steele's not going to happen in Lafayette, and it's not going to happen in Alabama. So maybe we'll have to put the match on Sportswire.
So did anybody happen to see my post on my story on Instagram I did about yesterday?
No.
I basically said,
yes. Go ahead.
As far as my future in the backyard world, I think it's unfortunately over as of yesterday, depending on decisions, and decisions were made. So this is the first time on, I guess, Sportswire is where it's going to be heard.
I did see your post where you talked about the future of your career in backyard wrestling, and
as of right now, it's officially done. There might be one more match as far as the backyard world. Don't know when it will happen and where or what, but as of right now, it's officially done. As far as James Taylor or Taft Taylor wrestling in 2024, yes, 100% is going to happen. It's going to be happening pretty soon too. Beside the point, I'm going to be going where I'm wanted. I'm going to be going to where I'm going to be respected, and I'm going to earn my spot wherever I go. And there it is. So, but hey, you know what? No
But the news is that we're not going to get you and Anthony Steele one more time.
We'll probably get me and Anthony Steele one more time, but where, I do not know. When, I do not know. Unfortunately, that's not up to me.
What about? I don't know if I should be speaking way ahead of my tongue, but NOCW, has there ever been a thought that could happen there?
I'm going to go ahead and put the nail on that one and say no, it's not going to happen, because I spoke to briefly that NOCW owner that Mr. Steele wanted me to talk to, but he never got back to me. And apparently his booking, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm just going to say his booking is pretty piss poor.
Well, he gave the thumbs up down on that. I mean, that tells you, okay, so it's not going to happen there. I still contend if there's a way we could do it on Sportswire, I would love to have the match on Sportswire. I mean, you know,
it'll happen. It's probably going to have to come down to me being able to get the situation taken care of and booked. But that's just going to have to happen a little bit at a later date. If I get my my YouTubes and my TikTok stuff going and my monetization even better to where I'm making more, then getting a ring and getting everything set up and opening up my own wrestling school would be no problem. You know, I could do that.
You know what? I mean, changing lanes. I mean, and you know, if you have a wrestling promotion, these guys got music. I mean, you could be having, think about WrestleMania-like performances. Could you imagine Sadboi on stage with Shane? I mean, forget about it. We could really be changing lanes. We could really be bringing in that De Niro, like that guy from Goodfellas. I mean, I'm telling you, have you heard the new single? I mean, oh man, what a banger. Could you imagine if you have a wrestling promotion and you have Sadboi and Shane on stage together? I mean, forget about it. I mean, it would be, to me, one of the greatest. You forget about Bad Bunny a few years ago. You put Sadboi and Shane out there. You put a James Taylor wrestling show out there. I mean, it would be a dream.
The big question is what do these guys, honestly, what is your, we're here one-on-one or two-on-one, however you want to do it. What is y'all's personal, real opinions of me being right here, your personal opinions of me as a, you know, just James Taylor, you know, what if that's all right to ask?
Gotcha. I'll go first. You know, I've never once had an issue with you. Every single time we had a conversation, it was always a positive one. You know, I think you were one of the few guys, you know, that had some actual, how do I put this without trying to be rude? Some will say that, yeah.
Abilities.
You know,
Abilities is a better word.
He's one of the few that actually had talent in the freaking.
You know, you could tell you put the work in. You know, you actually want to hone in on your craft. And the biggest thing I could say about it is that, you know, you wasn't afraid to speak your mind. And I feel like a lot of people have issues with that. You know, me and Shane in particular wasn't afraid to speak our mind either. And, you know, when people speak their minds, some things, you know, get twisted. Some things get stirred up that, you know, it gets blown out of proportion. And I honestly feel like, you know, a lot of people get their feelings hurt when they hear the truth.
Yeah,
fair point.
That's an unfortunate.
Anything in life, I've heard that all the time.
But me personally, I have not had one problem with you. You've done nothing but respect me. So guess what? I give respect back where respect is earned.
There you go.
So with me, I've not had personal beef. I've never in my life said anything bad. I have nothing bad to say about the man, the nemesis, James Taylor.
A living legend, the man, the myth, the legend, the nemesis, James Taylor.
And on top of everything, if James Taylor ever opened up his own promotion, you could count Alan Michaels in.
Oh, yes!
Maybe have a first time.
And then you might actually have to count Armageddon Shane Davis there too. So.
Oh man, forget about it. Oh
One
man.
thing I know.
And the YouTube views all of a sudden go up now when they saw James Taylor say, "Let me ask you honestly a question." And all of a sudden, my YouTube channel went from like 10 views to 18 over so between YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And all of a sudden, nearly doubled because people are like, "Oh, they're talking now. They're gonna talk about something. We gotta tune in.
Yeah.
What is James Taylor gonna say now?"
And that's the funny thing, Tom. It's like that's how it works. And
Yep, I know.
I don't know.
When
I
I
mean,
shoot, it's the same thing. I know when I shoot.
It's the nemesis effect, man.
I try and tell these guys that want to book me, like, hey man, I know how to tell a story. I know how to book shows. I know how a show is run. I know what to do. I'm not just some guy who's just like, hey, I'm just a stone cold knockoff. I know what to do in this business.
Got 2 million likes, by the way. Not too bad for some quote unquote stone cold knockoff. 2 million likes on TikTok, by the way. Hey,
yeah. I guess I just, I don't know what I'm doing, but whatever. But
according to somebody who really is a knockoff, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit there and badmouth anybody, but what I am going to do is just say, you know what? It's their loss. It's not mine. It's theirs. And I'm gonna continue doing what I do best.
As a fan, listen, and I'll say it for the 3 of you guys here. As a fan, not just guys that I consider you guys friends at this point, knowing you. Obviously, James, I've known you for about a year. You guys I've known for the past 4 or 5 months. As a fan, as a wrestling fan, obviously loving your work in TBW and loving TBW, and although the SWF, you're not going to get me to say anything good about the SWF. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to bury them. If you give me the chance, I'll bury them any day of the week.
Period.
What's that?
I said period. Screw them.
They suck. Listen, the SWF stands for Sucky Wrestling Federation. I mean, come on. The way they treated you guys, come in seriously. I mean, maybe all wrestling matters, but you treat guys that were on a major product getting 4,000 views in a main event and basically put them out there, and it was almost like was somebody playing a rib on the fact they were in TBW. I mean, seriously, if I was the booker, I would have put these guys in there and at least given them, a respectable match or two. But that's their company. But that's why, again, most of their champion looks like he could probably be at the back of the KFC line saying, do you want fries with that? And maybe you could help me pick up the drive-through on my few. But that's a different story for a different time. But the facts are is that the 3 of you guys, as a wrestling fan, I would hope to see you guys somewhere and do what you do best, and that's entertain the fans and give us great shows. Because I know with everything you've done in your career, but we were just starting to get to know the 2 of you guys, and that's, I think, what I'm disappointed most. And I think as fans, we were just starting to see you guys come into your own. I think, one more time as a fan, I hope that, people get to see what you guys could have to offer, whenever that might be. That's all.
You know what it is, Tom. I can go ahead and point it out. And guys like them and me, we just see the light. It's kind of like what this nation is, the woke nation. Well, we kind of see the bullshit a mile away, and then we try and point it out, and
sure.
you get kind of slapped to the face saying, mind your business. So we're like, well, the hell with you, bye. And that's what's going on right here. So I commend me. I appreciate these guys and what they're doing, and I don't blame y'all for leaving and doing whatever you're doing. Don't let
Sadboi's got music. Shane's become a big Twitch streamer now, and
I
they're going to be
make music. I also make music.
Where can we find your? Do you have new music coming out? Where can we find your music?
My music is also on SoundCloud. It's HTP Slip.
Okay, say that again. HCP Slip.
Yeah, capital H dot capital T dot capital P dot capital S capital L exclamation point capital P.
Okay, H capital T capital P. All right, repeat that. So I got H capital T capital P dot. Go ahead.
Capital S capital L exclamation point P capital P.
Capital P.
P.
Okay. Let's see if it comes up.
So,
I got it. You know what? Yeah. You have music from 3 years ago. Get the Bag? Is that the song?
That's his song. That's his song.
That's called Kirby right there.
So I'm gonna play it. You know what? I'm gonna pick it up. We were having fun, right? I mean, you mind if I actually pull it on the screen? You tell me where to go, and I'll actually play the music for us for the first time.
That's fine.
While you play it, I'm gonna show some stuff while everybody looks and see if y'all
Sure.
remember any of these.
Oh yeah,
I actually believe
I
it or
played
not.
that. Yeah.
I played that on the first
You know what?
PlayStation.
Believe it or not, I actually have that game still. I kid you
Really?
not.
Hell
You
yeah.
know why I have the game? I actually
I didn't play that one.
I played that game. Did not like that game at all. Did not like it.
This one plays the same as this one, but Thunder was better in my opinion. Also,
Thunder was much better. Thunder was like WCW Nitro sucked. I didn't like it. What else you got there, real quick? Anything else?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot, but you got me on the little screen. But here's one: WWF in your house on the.
Oh yes, I remember. Was that the first game? Was that the one with the Ultimate Warrior came back in there? Was it Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah, so I had Ultimate Warrior, Vader. It only had a few superstars.
It was Psycho Sid, Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, Undertaker, Goldust, right? Were they in it also, I think?
Yeah, Psycho Sid wasn't on it, but Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Goldust, Vader, Ahmed Johnson, and Bret the Hitman Hart.
I do remember playing that game, and it was okay. It was okay.
Very arcade-like. Arcade-like.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
wait,
so which song should I play here, Mr. Shane?
Go to tracks.
Oh, am I going to tracks? Okay.
Go to Fallen. Go
track.
to Fallen. Yeah.
Where am I going?
Go to Fallen.
Fallen?
Yeah. It's bad quality, but.
Every time I hear your name, I always think that she won't change. Every time I wake up in the morning, see your name on my phone, I ain't gotta hang up, just leave it to the tone, let the ring play. Now I'm wondering if she's okay. I left her already a couple times, I said, oh well, does she even really love me? I can't even tell. Now she's playing my games, now I knew she wouldn't have changed. Every time I hear your voice, I always think I made the wrong choice. Now she's so heartless. Why she calling? Now I'm falling for you. Why she's so heartless. Now she's calling. Now I'm falling for you. Every time.
Okay, you can turn it off now, Tom. I'm cringing a little bit.
It's a start.
Well, your music is slightly different than certainly Sadboi because you sing a little bit. You're a little bit more melodic. You got kind of. It's rap, but it's not quite rap, if that makes sense.
I got a lot more stuff that's like a lot different than what this is.
Well, I tell you what, I can't wait to play it. And, I think that'll be the James Taylor's next theme song he comes out to.
I'm more of a rock guy. But
I love when you come out to your music. I get fired up to it. Certainly, I do get fired up to it. But this is not, yes, I'll move this off the screen, guys.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, my song is one of those songs that the fans actually like to sing to.
Oh, when you come out, I jump. I'm ready to jump out. I'm ready to fight when you hear that song. I hear that,
Because it's go time. It's go time when I come out. These guys have seen me live. They've seen me in the ring.
They weren't. Well, those guys that might have looked like you. Remember, it's your boy Shane and Sadboyville. So it may not be. You might be confusing those guys with the guys you used to share a locker room with.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah.
I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I believe we were there for Anniversary 6.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls match. We were in the Gold in the Vault ladder match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that was the day.
The season 8 starts coming up next Thursday.
Well, I was going to show these. Did y'all ever play this one?
I have one. Yes. I actually. Do you remember? You probably remember this, James Taylor. Do you remember the cheat codes they used to come out with the booklets?
Uh-huh.
I had the cheat booklet for Warzone because I couldn't beat the games on my own.
Yeah, but y'all were talking old games. Tell me you played this one.
I played it on Dreamcast. You have a
Dreamcast?
Sega
You had the Dreamcast version? Lucky, that was.
I did. Well,
Attitude was badass. So it was the
Dreamcast was good. Dreamcast, it was way better.
Fun fact: this is the first official wrestling game that had full, authentic entrances.
And this was the first WWF game at the time that had almost like the whole roster.
Yep.
That was the first one that had like almost everybody.
Here's my personal favorite.
You said that on Instagram. Yeah, I played that one.
And then, of course, the follow-up.
I played that one. But
Oh,
then
you're like, I played that one. Okay, here you go, Alan.
Right there. I think Here Comes the Pain's probably my favorite, but just brings back fond memories. Shut Your Mouth was Shut Your Mouth was real good.
I think I played that on Nintendo Wii though.
That's the GOAT right there, man. I remember vividly playing that game for hours on end every single day. I mean,
oh yeah.
So you have 2K24 now. Sean Jovi, the resident rockstar. Spoiler alert. He has 2K24.
Oh, excuse me. I'm bricked. I'm sorry.
I think 06 is pretty good too, man.
So this is the version that I got of 2K24.
And how is it so far? How is it?
I am enjoying the absolute shit out of it. It's really great.
Has put it out there, the resident rock star, that anybody wants to play against him, you want to message him, get in touch. He is kind of coming up with a whole 2K24 thing. So if anybody wants to get in touch with the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, the nemesis James Taylor, it's right up your alley.
So I don't know if any of y'all got a chance to see night 2 of my PWF.
We were talking about this before you came on, actually. And
Really?
I had asked you guys about that. Yes, the guys had said they hadn't got a chance to see it.
I gotta buy it tonight, James. I gotta buy it tonight.
Buy what?
2K24. So
Right, but my show.
PWF.
My show and all, the Promo Wrestling Federation.
I have not.
Okay, well, get with me, I guess, after this if you're curious. But I run a 2K eFed that I've ran for the last 4 years, actually, and we're going into our season 5. Every new game that comes out is a new season, and we're going to be doing season 5 with 2K24. That will start, actually, if it's all right to promote real quick.
You can promote anything you want. You're the nemesis James Taylor. On this show, you're allowed to say anything you want. On this show, you can say anything.
The Promo Wrestling Federation, which is a federation that I own, I run full story. I run it literally like a legit company, only it's through a video game. And there's legit people that do promos for the company. And I have a Discord server. We'll get on all that another time. But beside the point, season 4 just ended with 2K23. Our biggest show of the year is called Defiance. Promo Wrestling Federation presents Defiance 3. And it's an annual show. It's not like, oh, here's Defiance, and then 3 months later, here's Defiance 2. It's legitimately like a yearly thing. And it was our biggest show, our most successful show. We had a live band and stuff through Paramore, and everything was really cool.
That was great, by the way. I was watching it. I thought that was just so cool what you did.
Thank you.
So cool.
And my band, who plays my song "Burn Halo, Save Me," who plays my entrance music, actually played me to the ring in the main event for the show,
so cool.
Which was really
That's
great.
so cool. And I know you're giving a lot of people an opportunity to do things. And if you want to follow James Taylor, Taff_Taylor. Check him out on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, but especially YouTube and TikTok because he's got nearly 105,000 followers. I have you guys on the air. Now, I know you guys obviously are not in the wrestling business. You're just wrestling fans, wink, wink. But, Sunday nights, myself and James Taylor, we've been on the call. We've been calling some of his matches. I wanted to offer it to you gentlemen, certainly Sadboi and Shane, if maybe Sunday night at some point you guys weren't doing anything and maybe you wanted to, see maybe yours truly call a match. Maybe James Taylor's here if he wants to be here. Call a match of, guys that look like you maybe. He could actually do it
Absolutely. I think I have the perfect one in mind, and I think Shane would agree with me.
Which one?
I
Which
think I think the Armageddon street fight at All Hallows Mania 3.
Oh,
I think that's the match to call right there.
all right. So you know
Oh.
what? Are you available Sunday night, James Taylor?
Yeah, I thought that was what we would do.
Oh, man, there's a lot of
I
fun
want to
shit
make
that
sure.
happened.
I just want to make I want to check anyway. But what do you think that maybe we actually do that? I'll actually call your match and we'll have James Taylor on also, as a guest, and we could talk about guys that look like you and see what you guys actually that may have looked like you did in the ring.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. I've never really done anything like that. I think it's cool. John Cena's actually been going back. I don't know if you haven't followed him on TikTok. He's been going back and talking about some of his feuds and matches here recently.
I did see
think
that.
it's
Yeah, I
pretty
heard
cool
about
little
that.
concept. Yeah.
I think it's kind of something cool that we've been doing it for a while on Sportswire, and I was thinking, obviously, with you guys being in guys that look like you in the ring, and maybe even that particular day, those guys that look like you, maybe we could induct them into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame Sunday night.
Hey, that sounds great to me.
That sounds
Those guys that look like you, though.
fantastic. I was finna ask about that, Tom.
That's why I had something up my sleeve. I always come prepared. I was thinking that
I was like-
now do I induct? Who do I induct into the Hall of Fame? Is it Alan Michaels? Is it Armageddon Shane Davidson? Is it Sadboi? I don't know. How do I go about
Hey,
that?
maybe we can be a 2-time Hall of Famer. Wink, wink.
Well, Omen Black's a 2-time Hall of Famer, so I suppose why not you guys? I suppose.
Wink, wink.
I think honestly, I did most of my success, most of my days on Sportswire as Alan Michaels. So I think Alan Michaels should be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think the Armageddon Shane Davidson should be inducted.
All right, so you know what? I guess then. Well, actually, then we'll all do it. We'll all be back together Sunday night. I'll have the opening. I'll induct Festus Davis into the Hall of Fame, and then our usual time. I don't know what time works for you. Is it 9:30 your time good, or is it too late? What time good for you guys?
9:30 our time.
Okay, is that good for you, James Taylor, or is it too early? All right, so we could do that. Maybe we'll do it. I say
I'll even jazz it up, and I'll be in a suit and tie.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I did it for the first speech. I did it for RP Davis. I did it, and then I took the thing off, and I'm like, screw it. I am not a suit and tie person. I'm just going to be me. So, all right. We'll make it a deal. Alan Michaels and Armageddon Shane Davidson go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then right afterwards, we'll actually watch the All Hallows Eve match with you guys, the Armageddon Street Fight, and James Taylor will join us. He'll join us for the whole evening.
And then I might actually, Tom, after this, I might actually send you some what's it called? Behind the scenes footage of a promo that me and Alan Michaels filmed.
Yeah, it's an unaired promo, unaired segment.
Why was it not aired?
I don't think I should ask on the air, right? Don't ask on the air.
Okay.
Probably not ask on the air, but
when we get off the air, we can talk about it.
Yeah, off the record, we can talk
so
about it.
that'll be something for the audience. But I will say before we get to closing thoughts, and I want to give a shout out, obviously, to the TSF Takes guys that were here, Scooby Stoney, and I want to offer it out there to anybody from the TSF Takes. Friday, which is tonight or today, tomorrow, whatever you might be, you want to come on the show and talk sports. It's open anytime. We're here from 10 o'clock on. We'll do the wrestling side of it at 10. Then 11 o'clock, we'll jump on and talk NFL, baseball, basketball, whatever sport you want to talk. Anybody from the TSF Takes group is welcome to join. You can message me on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021 or get in touch with these two individuals, and you can join us and take over, because my regular Sportswire radio show guys are kind of boring on Friday night. So let's spice it up a little bit and bring the TSF Takes guys on. But obviously, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of stuff here to talk about, and we'll certainly, I'm sure, continue that tomorrow, but also especially Sunday night when Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson join the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and then the four of us regroup and call that famous Armageddon Street Fight from All Hallows Eve. But first, let's get to some closing thoughts. And fellow operatives, let's hear from him first, the Tyrant King, the legendary nemesis James Taylor with his shirt on. I'm rocking that shirt on all day, wanting him on. I made sure to purposely get my merchandise on the whole day, knowing that we get James Taylor on. I made sure I'm going to wear it and maybe wear it through even Sunday for all I know. But forget about that because I'll wash it before. No, don't feel bad. I'll actually wash it before Sunday. But James Taylor, it is always a treat to have you on this platform. You can be here 24/7 as far as I'm concerned. There'll never be embargoes with you on this platform. I am giving you the floor. I am giving you closing thoughts, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say, so fire away.
I appreciate it, Tom. Really do. If anybody's interested in that shirt, just hit my DMs up, and I can hook you up with one.
And if you need a few dollars, I'll make sure I can buy it for you. If it makes you sweeten the pot, if it helps you, I'll do it for you.
I might be able to get you a little bit of a discount, but yeah, Tom can show you. It's a legit shirt. Nice. It's they're selling like hotcakes. Beside the point, I appreciate coming on here. Look forward to talking to these guys more in the future. Maybe we can talk some business. Who knows? Anything can happen in this world. What are they always saying? Never say never.
Say
right?
never. Yeah.
2024 is going to be a big old hot year for all of us in the wrestling world, especially for me, old Taft Taylor right here. Also with the Promo Wrestling Federation, because it's a federation that it's sad, Tom, because I'm running a 2K federation that's got over 1,200 subscribers on YouTube alone as a 2K E-Fed that gives these people, that gives these guys who can't really wrestle in general in person and in real life, but it gives them a platform to live vicariously through a character.
Hey, they're really good. Some of these guys are like, I can't knock them because they're like really good at this stuff. I mean, I got to say, like, I give them all the respect in the world.
So I run the federation, and we do promo classes on there as well. So it's basically designed to teach people who struggle with promos or just want to try and sharpen their skills in the promo world. D'Angelo Salas will try to take over the virtual. You're more than welcome to come on and try. You're more than welcome to join. Just hit me up, man. I'd definitely love to talk to you. One thing I did last year, I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. 2 things real fast. One, with PWF, we will be returning in season 5 on exactly a month from today. It's going to be April 7th. It's on a Sunday.
After WrestleMania.
At 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's after WrestleMania, right?
Night 1, so it would be night 2, I think, right? April 7th is night 2?
Oh, is that when it is?
Yeah.
Damn. So, all right. So, how about this? How about we'll just do it a week after that? Well, beside the point. We'll get more details for you.
Good enough.
What I did last year at the premiere, the more viewers we get and people who say they're going to be there and show up, I'll put their names into a hat, subscriber based, or I'll get their DMs and whatnot. There'll be more details on how to enter this contest. But the winner will get a digital copy of the brand new game that's out for that year. And this year it's 2K24. I will be giving out a digital code to this game for whatever platform that winner wins.
Wow, that's a pretty cool
If you're a PlayStation owner, you get on PS4 or PS5. There you go. If you're an Xbox, I'll get you a digital code for Xbox. But there's a little fun fact for you right there.
I like it.
There you go. So nonetheless, though, and that's for people who don't have, because there's some people who don't want to buy it just yet because it's so pricey or they just haven't been able to. I get it. Hey, it's a free digital copy if you win it, you know. If something else happens, and there was, 2 years ago, I had somebody, they were going to get 2K22, but they already had it, so I just gave them a $50 network card for their PlayStation. So
that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But
you know what? I like it.
It's promotion. It's promotion. Guys, I do appreciate y'all letting me come on here and shoot the shit with you for a little bit. And
absolutely.
Tom, as always, it's always great to come on here. You just let me know whatever you need from me, boss man.
I said there's no embargo with James Taylor on Sportswire. Wink, wink. But I guess we'll certainly see everybody Sunday for another historic day on Sportswire. But Shane, you are definitely our boy on Sportswire. And anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to promote, I'm going to put your social media links up here while you do that.
Man, just positivity, man. I'm just trying to spread positivity at this point. You know, if you got bad blood with me, oh well, get over yourself. Well, that's just at the point of life I'm at, man. And, you know, I'm a grown man. I can handle my battles. And, you know, I just there's a lot of positive thoughts. That's all you got to do. And, you know, if you're ever going, like I've stated before on Sportswire, if you're going through anything, mentally, physically, you know, reach out to somebody, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep addressing that to the day I die. You know, mental health will always forever be a hard subject for some people.
A
And
lot of the British pro wrestlers that we have come on Sportswire actually opened up. The Tribal Cheese was one of them, very well-known wrestler. Ronnie Thatcher, the Gentleman Thug. And these guys are like, their main event, they're established, very respected pro wrestlers. And they came out and said, like, look, they're having mental health issues. James Barris, who's the owner of Cutlery Championship Wrestling, said, like, look, I'm fighting, autism. I'm fighting depression. I'm fighting mental health. And it's a real serious thing out there. So if there is anybody that, wants to talk, you can message me, message the guys. And, I always have an open door policy.
My DMs are always open if anybody's wanting to talk about stuff.
Absolutely. And that also includes some music from the past that Shane put out there.
Oh my Lord! I got so much more better stuff coming out.
Now I got to share the screen. I want to go back and play music now. I want to do the videos, so it's going to be fun almost. It's certainly going to be all fun, and you can follow Shane on those platforms. And certainly we're going to change lanes, and we're going to certainly go over the last, and certainly Mr. Sadboi, and certainly it was not a sad experience here tonight with you. So certainly help us make that dinero. And give us that closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say before somebody that might be named Alan Michaels goes into the Hall of Fame along with somebody named Armageddon Shane Davidson Sunday night into the Sportswire Hall of Fame.
Gotcha. Closing thoughts, closing statements. I got a lot of pans in the fire right now. I'm making music, Sadboyville. Got a new EP dropping in the next few months. I'm going to go ahead and leak the name. It's going to be, put me on the spot, kind of forgot for a second.
Change lanes there for us.
Yeah, change lanes for us real quick. It's going to be called
The Sins of Our Lives.
The Sins of Our Lives. I am completely blanking
Somebody
the
knew
name
it.
of my own EP. Jesus. The Sins of Our Lives. I got another single that we're going to drop before the EP. So we're going to have 2 songs from the EP drop beforehand. Give it a little buzz. Give it a little shake. We Good will be dropping here soon.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
We're going to be getting that put out there. TSF Takes is a thing I'm really excited for, something that I've really been pushing for a while, but I finally have the time with this new job that I'm at to fully put my all into this. We're going to be talking about sports in general, debates. I'm really big into listening to the fans, get what the fans have to say. Debating with them. I'm really excited for this next chapter. You can follow TSF Takes on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube,
Threads, and YouTube at TSF Takes. Yep.
I literally made an account for every single platform there is, man. You can pretty much find me on MySpace at this point.
Does anybody actually have MySpace? Does MySpace exist?
It still exists.
It still exists, but it's kind of.
It's for old people dating, dude.
But
James Taylor, did you have a MySpace back in the day?
I know for a fact James Taylor had a MySpace. He was in my top 5, man. No,
I know my MySpace has to be up there. I'll tell a quick story, funny story. My MySpace was an upside down photo of me. That was for whatever reason I couldn't get the photo right. I have it's an upside down photo of me. Yeah, kind of funny, but yeah, whatever.
I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch. I'm putting an open challenge out right now. I am labeling myself the greatest Madden player to ever touch the stick.
You said that at the beginning of the show, and I'm still...
You can ask Shane Davison. You can ask any guy in TSF. You can ask anybody. You can ask your mother. She'll tell you I'm the greatest Madden player of all time.
J-Lo, maybe? Because for whatever reason, J-Lo's photos came up all day on my timeline. I have no idea why.
You can ask J-Lo. She'll be like, yes, Sadboyville, Alan Michaels, whatever you want to call him, is the greatest Madden player of all time.
Thank you in Madden.
The last time we played Madden, I beat you 65-0. I don't want
Maybe we shouldn't bring that up, but okay. Well, we'll
check
see
the streams. Check. I got receipts.
I'm gonna check that because I've watched some of your streams. I have one more question I want to bring it up before we sign, because it's one of my buddies who's also in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, Mr. Justin Parsley, and Justin is one half of the XCW Tag Team Champions. He says Sting's gone, Taker's done, Who's the current GOAT, guys? Who's your current right now GOAT in wrestling? Is there a GOAT you
Roman
have?
Reigns.
Roman. If we're talking WWE, Cena's still the GOAT. Cena's still got a little bit left in him. If we're talking wrestling in general, and I know I'm going to get a bunch of hate for it. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on this, guys. My personal, honest, 100% opinion is Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler alive right now. I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan. People can hate me if they want to. He literally put on a 5-star match with the broomstick.
Well, if you're going that into it, I'm gonna have to one up you with Will Ospreay.
I got a chance to watch him a little bit. Yeah, that might be a good one. That's an impressive one of the pure wrestling.
If you put him and Ricochet in the ring together, oh my God, they're gonna.
Ricochet is one of those guys that's forever. He's never gonna go anywhere in WWE. He's just never.
Nah, but the thing is,
because they don't know how to use it. That's why. He's got that's so much
the stuff he did with Logan Paul. They never capitalized on it. They had him in that tag team with Braun Strowman, and it was like the same thing. They just couldn't get him over the finish line. He just seems mired.
It upsets me because Ricochet has so much potential. I think Ricochet has potential to even be a WWE champion.
He'll never be one though in WWE. You could just tell.
You never say never. Ray won a couple.
Ray's different though. Ray is
different.
Totally, Ray is.
Yeah, Ray's different. But I mean, why can't Ricochet get the opportunity?
Hey, we have money in the bank for a reason.
It to him. That's the difference. Because Ray had the fans, he had the larger than life, and he had the resume. Ricochet doesn't quite have that. Since he's come up to the main roster, he hasn't had that. That's why I say that. For you, James Taylor, is there a GOAT for you currently? Because I'm going to give you my answer last. I'm going to give you an answer that'll surprise you based on what I'm.
Just who I think is the GOAT.
Current GOAT, who's currently active in the sport.
I might get a little feedback from it, like bad or good. I don't know, but this is my personal opinion because I'm just an old school guy, and he's still one of my favorites. And I'm not. He's not one of my favorites because everybody else. Oh, I grew up watching him. No, he's one of my favorites from the Ruthless Aggression era, and that's Randy Orton. 15 times.
Yeah, I thought about him. I thought about that.
He's still doing it.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree.
Of the original 4, do you know who the original 4 is that came in when he came in?
Lesnar, Batista, and Cena.
There you go. All of them are gone or done, except for Orton.
Well, didn't I read on Twitter that Batista, there was some faint talk of him coming back one more time, which I'd be hard to believe.
No, that it will never happen.
Cena's technically not done, but he's kind of done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The reason why Cena came back was because of that.
Writer's strike, yeah.
There's nobody right now in that dressing room, in all of wrestling, in my eyes, that gives off the emotion that Randy Orton does. Randy Orton has nailed it.
I think Randy Orton consistently been a main eventer for 19, 20 years in a row.
Yeah.
And he will continue to be a main eventer.
My current GOAT. He's my current GOAT.
Before I get to my famous lie, wants to say Roman Reigns, Omega, Ospreay. So that's his thing. But speaking of GOATs, I'm surprised nobody brought up the name Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho, right? Now you think about legacy, right? Sting, Undertaker. He's the one guy that's continually reinvented himself. Yep. Even if now, maybe he's dropped off a bit, but still look at the people he's wrestled in AEW. I know AEW's not WWE. But I think in terms of consistently reinventing himself, he's really been at the forefront of it. He might be the greatest chameleon of all time. So I would have to say current GOATs. I mean, wouldn't he be the one guy left from that generation that's still an active wrestler? So wouldn't you have to throw Jericho in there by default? So I'm going to go with Chris Jericho because he's the current guy that would be, a peer of Sting and the Undertaker. Now, obviously, again, different wrestler, different time. But I think that Chris Jericho would probably be mine because he's been 30 years. I mean, he goes from Mexico, Japan, ECW, WCW, middle success in WCW. Certainly WWE had, tremendous success. Debuts with The Rock, the first segment, and then AEW, and even in Japan before that. So
the only man in history to beat both The Rock and Stone Cold in the same
one night. It was the
That's a good take right there. That's a really good take. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even think about Jericho.
Because Jericho, since he debuted in WWF at the time, he's always been, think about even his feuds early on with Kurt Angle, China. He took the Intercontinental title with Regal, Triple H, certainly, Austin, The Rock, Kane, Shawn Michaels, can't forget about WrestleMania 19, reinvented himself with Jericho, Kevin Owens. That might have been his best work with Kevin Owens. I mean, his stuff, Christian. He really, I think Jericho, to me, no matter what his situation was, he took what he had and ran with it. So I'm gonna go Jericho, current GOAT. He's the one guy left from the generation that's from that era that was relevant. Even Goldberg. I mean, he wrestled Goldberg and took that in there. So yeah, that's that. So I think we've got pretty much everything in the books. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys Sunday. I'm looking forward to calling your match on Sunday, by the way. That's going to be a lot of fun. The guys that might be who you are. So that'll be a plug for that. But follow us here, and I'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern time, with wrestling post-SmackDown coverage. And anybody from the TS. Speaking of one person that would like to say something, might recognize the person, may not. But he says, at Justin, for Justin Parsley, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins easily are his two GOATs. So that's what the Titan has to say. And well, he's we think of current wrestlers and maybe backyard wrestling. He might be a current GOAT for some. No, not for you guys. Not current GOAT. Okay, well,
Tom,
maybe
I think I lost you there for a minute.
He's woke. He's the woke.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I think I got the point. So I'm getting that signal from my crack staff that it's time to sign off. It's getting late. Ladies and gentlemen, you are joined with the nemesis, James Taylor, Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, and also, by the way, Mr. Titan wants to say in terms of wrestling today, Reigns and Rollins are his GOATs. But we were joined tonight by the nemesis, James Taylor, host of the Nemesis Sessions, with this shirt I have on here. And also to go into the Hall of Fame, two guys that were named Alan Michaels and Armageddon Shane Davidson, but there's two guys here tonight that we've been introduced for the first time. They are called Sadboi, and it's your boy Shane. You can check them out on Twitch and all other social media platforms. But the artists that were once known as Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And also TF Takes guys might be here tomorrow. Could be from 11 o'clock on, talking sports and more. We'll have to stay tuned for that. But until then, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, stand by for your regularly scheduled programming. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global reaction that is Sportswire Radio. And thank you, everybody here, for tuning in. And go follow the TSF Takes. Go listen to brand new music from Sadboi. And check out James Taylor, because he's got so many followers, you might want to add to more. But so thank you, everybody. I'll see everybody later.